Welcome back, everybody, to the continuation of our recap of Pyanodons on Twitch. Now, last stream, we were very unproductive, mostly because we spent most of our time exploring, but it was exploring for a very good benefit because we finally have a coal power plant. It's only half of the build. The other half will be coming in at some point in time. We don't really need the other half yet, and making coal power plants is also kind of expensive. So we only made half a build, and this is a very gorgeous build. How does the coal power plant work? Well, you take a coal power plant, you put in some molten salt, you heat it up into hot molten salt. You then take the hot molten salt, it goes all the way down, all the way down, all the way down to over here into one of these heat exchangers, and then the hot molten salt as well as some pressurized water is being turned into molten salt and pressurized steam. And then the pressurized steam over here goes into one of these steam turbines and makes a lot of power, which is absolutely bloody amazing. Now, the salt cycle in here of hot salt, of molten salt and hot molten salt is stable, so you don't really need to put in any additional salt over time of the process. So that is good. But getting the salt might be a bit of an issue, and also making the molten salt is also not really that cheap. Because you do need like 300 salt to make 100 molten salt, and you do need at least a little bit of liquid in here to make this whole thing run. Each one of these, I think, can hold up to 1,000. I'm not quite sure how much they can hold, because they don't really fill up. But we will have to see. Good. And as for the ratios, the ratio is pretty much an 8 to 5 to 5, or a 4 to 2.5 and 2.5. As you take a look at the recipe over here, every power plant over here creates 500 hot molten salt every 20 seconds. That is 25 per second at a crafting speed of 1, so 25 per second. And then every heat exchanger over here takes in 200 every 10, that's 20 per second, but they have a crafting speed of 2, so they take in 40 per second. Which means this block over here makes 100 molten salt, the double block over here makes 200 molten salt. 5 of these consume 200 molten salt, and 2.5, or in this case 3, consume 100 molten salt. So that's your stable cycle. And the steam they put out, they do put out 30 steam per second. At crafting speed 2, it's 60 steam per second, and every turbine over here consumes 60 steam per second. Good. So that is more or less the power plant loop. Now, of course, there's one issue. How to get salt. There's multiple ways of getting salt. You can either mine it out of a salty rock. You can get it from salt-enriched biomass, which is a tech we don't have yet, but it's a very good tech. We had a very big salt-enriched biomass plant in the past. Or you can get it from saline water, but this tech over here is also kind of, well, we're almost there. We're making our way over there, but it is behind logistics science packs, and getting there is going to be a bit annoying. Good. So the only way for us to get salt at the moment is from a salty rock. And, well, let's put it like this. We had to explore a bit to find the salty rock. Now, you might already see where it is. You might not. We have figured out a whole bunch of resources on the way over. One thing we did find while we were exploring like this was the new Nextlet ore. We find some over here, raw Nextlet. We find some over here, more raw Nextlet. And I think there's also some over here somewhere. That's molybdenum ore, niobium ore, molybdenum. One moment, please. Yeah, raw Nextlet over there. Yeah, it kind of looks, color-wise, very much like molybdenum and niobium. So it's kind of hard to find it. There's also more raw Nextlet over there. Nice. But where's the salt? Well, we started exploring over here. We went all the way to the south, all the way over here. We found a whole bunch of spiders. By the way, all these spiders over here, the nests are not that big, but all the worms in here are at least medium or bigger. Most of the worms we saw down here are behemoth worms, and we only have yellow ammo. If you ever try to kill a behemoth worm with yellow ammo, you do, well, it's fun. They don't take damage. The damage reduction is 10, and we only do 5.5 damage. The minimum damage we do is 1, but they regenerate health faster than we can deal with to them. So, yeah. It's no fun. Either way, a whole bunch of exploring done. This took, I think, an hour or something like that, just getting through all of this. And then, all the way over here, all the way at the top, we found the salt. Now, There's probably more salt over here. Maybe there's some over there. But it did take us a while to find the salt. But we finally found some, and I'm very happy about it. That's more phosphate rock. That's even more phosphate rock. Maybe at some point in time we find something that's closer by. But we do have to get that salt into the base. Now, we tried something. We gave the caravans another chance. If you remember the caravans, they were introduced in Pyanodons Alien Life at some point in time. But back then they were terrible. And they kind of gave them a bit of a facelift. They are less terrible now. You can now use them with trains, but there is a big issue with that. That's more or less the thing that we tried down here. Every caravan can be assigned to a specific cargo wagon, and if the caravan decides to unload that cargo wagon, it doesn't matter where the cargo wagon is. That cargo wagon could be, say, all the way over here. He will walk over there to unload that cargo wagon, which means it's still kind of stupid. You can't really use a caravan to unload the train station. Now, I would love to be able to do that, because the caravans are pretty darn fast at picking up stuff. They basically pick up a whole inventory backpack of like 30 stacks of items in like one swoop, which is very UPS friendly, but they are just an absolute hassle to deal with. Also, what makes it even worse, every caravan can only operate on a specific cargo wagon. It's not that you can tell a caravan to operate a specific train station. It can only work on a cargo wagon. And like I said, if that cargo wagon is elsewhere and that caravan decides to unload that cargo wagon, he will walk all the way over there to unload that cargo wagon. And that's not the point. That is not the point. You want the cargo wagon to be, you want the train to enter a station, and then the caravan you want to unload the train for you and put it like in a depot or something like that. That is the full dream. But sadly, that is not possible because how the caravans work. And I'm not quite sure if you can copy paste orders between caravans, but all in all, I gave the caravans a try, and to be perfectly honest, it was terrible. It was just terrible. They're still absolutely terrible. They might be good if you have like something like a short way transportation. For example, they would have probably been very good if we had them to bring things over here like the steel and the lead over here, and maybe even the canisters for coal gas and something like that. That would have been real good. Like a bit of this transportation, because this train over here only goes every now and then. Same for most of these early trains over here. That would be very good for them. But yeah, at the end of the day, the trains will be better, especially once we get to the better trains, like the high-tech trains, the advanced trains, and then the superior floating trains. They would completely outperform those caravans in like a jiffy. Good, 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 good. One thing we did try with the caravans though, this outpost all the way over here. This building over here, you can't really see it because, well, we don't have any power over there. But this building over there, that's a caravan depot. And we did try to set up a caravan from over here to all the way over here. As you can see, here's the other caravan outpost. And it used to be, trademark, it used to be that the caravans would not be attacked by biters. Well, it seems that's not the case anymore, because our caravan, as soon as he walked from over here, well, he got eaten by these biters over there. So that also does not seem to work anymore, which is a bit sad, because this would be the perfect example or the perfect use case for a caravan. You got an outpost all the way over here at a very remote location. The building itself runs on burner fuel, which means gas canisters. And you don't really want to build a train track all the way over there because, well, for one, it's very far away. And for another, you have to navigate through all these cliffs and stuff like that, which is going to be super duper annoying. And you just don't really want to build that far yet. And the caravan over here, if he would be ignored by the biters, would be perfect, because he would just show up every now and then over here, bring some salt, and goes like, here, here's the salt, I'm going back. And you go like, thank you, and you send him back home. But sadly, he got eaten by biters, so he doesn't live anymore. And I don't really want to make another one, which is also the other reason why I don't really have anything to show in terms of caravans, because he got eaten. Good, but that's all about the molten salt. Let's have a quick another look at this power plant over here. So how much power does the power plant take, and how much power does the power plant make? Every power plant over here eats up to 10 megawatts in burnable fuel, which means if you look at coal, that would be 2.5 coal per second, because coal has a fuel value of 4 megajoules. 2 pieces of coal is 8, and then a half piece of coal is 10. So this basically eats 2.5 megajoules of coal per second. Also, Ha! I just noticed that this thing over here actually needs to be over there and not over here. I'll fix it later on. Good, 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 good. But yeah, it needs about 10 core per, 4 of these need exactly 10 core per second. And then, of course, we've got the coal processor over here. Now, you can already see that we are feeding in not only the coal, we're also feeding in the coal dust and the coarse coal. Oh, not coarse coal, the coal, what is it called again? It's not coarse coal, it is the crushed coal. There we go. So everything we make up there, we put in here. And if we have a quick look at this machine over there, we will see that the full process, this over here, processes a full yellow belt of raw coal. And what we get out of this is 1 piece of crushed coal, 2 pieces of coal, and 0.3 pieces of coal dust. And we got 15 of these machines. So we do this 5 times per second, which means we get 10 pieces of coal, which is already enough to feed the power plants by themselves. We get 5 pieces of crushed coal, which has another 30 megajoules of energy. And then we get about 1.5 pieces of coal dust, which is another 4.5 megajoules of energy. So we get about another 35 megajoules of energy out of this process over here, which we could technically feed down here. Now, we could feed all of that into this coal power plant on both sides. And then we have a coal power plant that can run up to 90-ish%, which I think is fine, because you don't really want to run your power plants at 100% either way. But yeah, we could take one whole yellow belt of raw coal and just feed it into the double side over here, though at a little risk, at a slight risk. We could still maybe add some other stuff in here. These coal power plants over here, they do run on other fuels as well. I'm not quite sure if they run on wood, but they definitely do run on nuclear fuel, which is kind of fun. Good. As for the salt, yeah, making the salt, we need 300 salt to make like 100 molten salt, and you just need to bring in a whole bunch of salt. Fill up the cycle once, and once the cycle over here of salt is big enough or high enough that these machines over here can loop non-stop, you are going to make a whole bunch of power. How much power? Well, each one of these down here makes up to 118 megawatts. Let's just assume, for the ease of calculation, that it's 120. And we can run 2.5 of these or 5 of these in the full setup. If we run 5 of these in the full setup, that's 600 megawatts of power. If we run 2.5, that is 300 megawatts of power, which is a lot of megawatts. It's a very high amount of megawatts. Good. As compared to this place over here, it used to be that sorry about that. It used to be that all of this coal over here would be consumed over here, and this place over here would only make, well, it's about 7.5 megawatts per steam engines, and we got 12 of them. So that's 6 times 15, that is 3 times 30, that's 90 megawatts over here. So 90 megawatts over here with the same fuel consumption as 300 megawatts over here. Oh, that's my washing machine. I was kind of thinking, like, what is it beeping in the background? Yeah, you might hear it, but it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Good. What else did we do? Well, we did make a small hand feeder machine down here to make the mechanical parts. Mechanical parts are the thing that you're going to need to make, well, the coal power plants as well as the heat exchangers, which are over... Where are they? Where are the heat exchangers? Am I being blind again? Oh, there they are. The heat exchangers over here. They need mechanical parts as well. It's kind of interesting. The heat exchanger needs 1 mechanical part. The coal power plant needs 3. And then that salt mine, that needs 10. For whatever reason. But yeah, we should probably automate this soon. I just didn't want to automate it yet, as we were still missing like a couple of intermediates. But for now, this is fine, just to make us the few amount of small parts that we need to build the buildings that we want to. But yes, later on we do need more of them, so we should set up some kind of machine over here that makes them for us non-stop. And then whenever we need some, we should pick them up. Good. What else did we do? Oh yeah, down here. We started working on rock fruit, and at some point in time I got tired, and then we just kind of stopped this, and then we basically moved this to the next stream. I will be finishing this off on my own time. It's also a good addition to the rock farm over here, because you can already see that this place over here is polluting all the time. And if we put down like a big farm over here that can eat all of this pollution over there, then it's more or less a win-win situation for us. And we make the food so that we can go down the better rock recipes over here. For example, we got this recipe over here, which is just water barrels, rock cocoons, native flora, and moss, which makes 2 rocks every 160 seconds. If we add food to it, we double the amount of rocks that we make. So it's very much worth our time adding the rocks. We also need to add some sap to that, but making sap is quite easy. Not only that, food also allows us to make more cocoons. The cocoon recipe over here increases from 5 to 8 to 8 to 12, which is a significant upgrade. This is an average of 10, and this over here is an average of 6.5. So we basically get 50% more, give or take, if you like really, really press your eyes together. Then, very important as well is this recipe over here, which is the rock breeding program. We do need the food to make the better rocks, and you do want to update your creatures, because the better creatures you get, the faster your farm will run. The current rocks we have a speed increase of 150%, and then the more advanced rocks over here, they have a speed increase of... Wait, no, they have a... Wait, the normal rocks have a speed of 100%, the better rocks have a speed increase of 150%. And we can do the same for the Orcs, I think. This is all Orc Mark 1, Orc Mark 1. Okay, we don't have the better Orc recipe yet. When did we get that? When did we get Orc breeding? That's domestication. Is that in here? Orc Mark 1, Orc Mark 2. Yeah, that's something we get over here. Okay, that's still kind of far away. But yeah, you do want to go through all these breeding recipes, and we just unlocked over here the recipe to make Moss Mark II, which doubles the speed of moss. If you have a look at your normal moss production over here, moss has a speed increase of 65%, Moss Mark II has a speed increase of 130%, which is a significant increase. And you do want to set this up early. It will just constantly consume resources in the background, and it makes 0.0 Moss Mark II. I guess it makes 0.05 or maybe 0.01. I'm not quite sure what exactly the number is. Maybe we can see it over here in FNEI. Moss Mark II, craft, 2%. Okay, the chance is 2%. So, yeah. You do have to put in a whole bunch of resources, and it takes a whole bunch of time, but getting to Moss Mark II is very good. In my opinion. Though the only thing I kind of find a little bit annoying is that we don't really have anything that we can use to breed Moss Mark II. So you do want to set this process up, because you will be needing moss farms all the time. You need to make moss pretty much always. We also got a better moss recipe over here, which is even better than the one we have. It cuts down crafting time and it increases output, and both of those factors together will increase moss production by quite a bit. Good. Perfect. I think that's it. The food over here. Yeah, we should maybe have a quick word about the food. The food over here, we just make everything we need over here to make the food in terms of farms. So we put down a moss farm, a foggy farm, a tree farm, and that's pretty much it. And then we just bundle it all together, process it all together, and feed it straight over here into the rocks. And I guess we will have a rock breeder maybe over here, maybe over there. It will be sitting around over there somewhere. Good. So, that will be it for me for today. I wish you all a Merry Christmas. And even if you don't celebrate Christmas like I do, or if you're an absolute Grinch, then I wish you a happy Grinching time. Because that's how we do. If you do want to see more of this, please do leave a like, a follow, a comment, a subscription. Every one of those actions does help me out in growing this channel into something bloody amazing. You can also find me on twitch.tv/potviking, where we do even more Factorio. I think we're playing Pyanodons over there. Rimworld is currently on hiatus. We lost the previous colony, and I just need like a couple of weeks off Rimworld just to recover my Rimworld sensors. And we will be playing something else in the meantime. I've not decided yet what it will be, but come over there, check it out for yourself. In addition to that, we also still play Valheim, and we still play a bit of GTFO every now and then. Good. And without further ado, I wish you all an amazing evening, and until next time, see you around!